Um, you are very involved, um, and I know that leadership, but then women in leadership is something that's kind of that you hold, closely. Talk about the importance of seeing diversity in leadership positions, just in general, and kind of and how you view it, and some of the things that you're a part of that's kind of moving that ball for down the field, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh, I love sports analogies. That's fantastic.
That wasn't too high
Sports ball. That was a
for
sports ball analogy. I've got it.
all right, good.
So, yes, I am fiercely passionate about mentoring women specifically. And I think it's because I didn't have a whole lot of leaders early in my career that really helped guide me. My first 10 years, I only had male managers and didn't see any females in a leadership role. And so it was something that became very important to me once I started becoming more successful and kind of getting my feet under me when it came to my career. And to me, it's a simplistic formula. Diversity of people equals diversity of thought equals strength of thought. And I know that there's a whole lot that goes in that, but to me, that's the simplicity. And it's important that people understand that, but so many people don't. So many people try to replicate themselves. In fact, there was uh, and I can't remember her name, but she was a professor from a local university who came in and did some training with some of the senior leaders at my company. And one of the things my VP shared with me that she talked about is people, and I've always heard this, people tend to hire people that remind them of themselves,
Mhm.
right? So people end up hiring people that look like them, have similar backgrounds, similar cultures. But what she said that I'd never heard before, which I thought was really interesting, is people hire people that remind them of their younger self.
I've
So
never
not
heard
kind of
that.
who they are right now, but their younger self, like their potential and who, like they hire people that remind them of who they once were and kind of who they would want, that they wanted somebody to evolve them. And that just kind of blew my mind. I was like, that I can see that happening. And I think
Yeah.
that's why we have so little diversity in organizations at the top level, because people are just rehiring what they looked like when they were younger early in their career. But to me, seeing diversity at a leadership level is and at the highest senior level leaders. Like there's a lot of first level leaders that are diverse. I think companies have gotten much better at opening up opportunities to everybody and really seeking to have diversity in candidates and making sure people understand the value and seeking candidates, like sourcing candidates that are diverse. But I think so many organizations, there's like a couple of levels up and then the diversity sort of just stops. And you get to the highest level, maybe the level below that too, and there's just very little diversity. And if there is diversity, it's minimal. There might be one black leader and one or two women, maybe. Like that's sort of
Yeah.
and that's not enough. Like it's not enough. The senior leadership at organizations need to represent what our world looks like, what our society looks like, in order to have a true representation that allows organizations to continue growing and evolving. I mean, the financials are there when
Right.
all the research is there saying companies that are diverse, they're more profitable.
Yeah.
And so these people are getting in their own way by not promoting and reinforcing diversity at the highest levels, because that's where it truly translates into monetary gain for an organization. If you're thinking
Right.
about your shareholders,
There's a business
there's
case
no
for it.
reason to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I am fiercely protective of that.
You know what it is? It goes back to the whole B&C players and leadership, right? B&C leaders. My first job, this is how naive I was. Um, I had a supervisor who was like, it was like shipping and receiving, and out, and there was like this mess, and he was like complaining about how unorganized everything was, and I said, well, why don't they? I said, why don't they just reorganize it? And he said, it's easier to just do it poorly than for them to kind of start from scratch and kind of and organize it. Just the amount of time, they just don't want to put forth that amount of effort. And I went, that doesn't make sense. But boy, that have I recognized that a lot since then, right? I mean, it's if we continue to challenge ourselves at every level, right? And if we're the CEO, we need to make sure that the board or that the other C-level leaders are making, if we fall off, we need to make sure that someone's holding us accountable. But that constant evolution, so that we don't get comfortable, so that because most of these people didn't start off being B and C leaders, right? They got comfortable, they had some success, and now they don't want any disruption.
They're coasting. Yep.
Yeah. Tell me what you said. You said diversity. Give me
So diversity of people equals diversity of thought equals strength of thought.
Diversity of people equals diversity in thought, which equals
strength of thought.
Strength of thought. That's a great place to end. I love that.